streaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave.
It is the 76th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, and it's also the 16th anniversary of the Freedom Monument Veterans Memorial. Originally built and dedicated in 2001 through the efforts of the Santa Maria Valley Chamber of Commerce and the City of Santa Maria, it's been added to each and every year since then. This Freedom Monument represents a commitment from our community to assure that all fallen veterans are appropriately remembered. PFC Richard R. Landers, United States Army, was a 19-year-old veteran from Orcutt who was killed in action in Vietnam on May 2nd, 1968. While defending his position at a guard bunker and protecting the base that he was assigned to, he engaged in a firefight with the Viet Cong during an attack by the enemy. Richard was mortally wounded from the engagement, but because of his efforts and that of a fellow soldier who was wounded but survived, the enemy was kept at bay until reinforcements arrived. There's no way we can possibly ease the heartbreak that his family has endured since that fateful day. But by allowing us to recognize Richard and place a plaque in his honor, we can make certain that his sacrifice will never be forgotten by our community.
We're now 113 names on our Freedom Monument Veterans Memorial. Today we add the name of Richard R. Landers, who served in the U.S. Army, as did my father. We have heard the words, "This is a day that will live in infamy." And some of us heard that as children. As we grew older, we were told, remember 9/11. I wonder what's going to happen next so that kids and our grandchildren remember the sacrifices that our men and women gave to this country. Gathering here at the memorial is an annual tradition, and to remember all those sacrifices by so many men and women from the Santa Maria Valley who left to serve the military.
Webster defines heroic as courageous, valiant, bold, and lion-hearted. And the actions that we heard Dave talk about of Private First Class Richard Landers on May 2nd, 1968 were absolutely courageous and heroic. A young man of 19 who enlisted during a time of war and volunteered for Airborne found himself in a foxhole trying to hold off an enemy attack. Here he was, thousands of miles from his hometown of Orcutt, with only his weapon, another soldier next to him, and a desire to protect the rest of his unit. He lost his life in that battle, but he did so in a heroic way. Sometimes we go searching for heroes to emulate, but in Santa Maria, we have them right in our midst.
We have this presentation that's inside the Maldonado building that is open as soon as this event's over. It's Remember Our Fallen exhibit. It is a traveling exhibit that there are 17 in the country. California is fortunate to have one. It has the pictures and names of all those who were killed in action since 9/11. To date, there's over 750 men and women here from California portrayed on the panels.
on behalf of the 30th Space Wing Commander, Colonel Huff, and the 3,500 plus men and women of Vandenberg Air Force Base, it is indeed a pleasure to stand in front of you here today to recognize the sacrifice and the service that Private First Class Richard Ray Landers gave in serving his country. To Mr. Hatch, Mayor Patino, members of the Chamber, and all leaders that join us here today, thank you for the warm welcome we, Team Vandenberg, always receive from the city of Santa Maria. As an active duty United States military member, it is comforting knowing that when we put our lives on the line in defense of freedoms we share, there are communities like Santa Maria that will honor us and our families for our sacrifices.
May 2nd, 1968 was a very, very sad day for our family. I saw my mother turn into an old woman that day when she found out the news. My sister Gina, who is in the front row here, is a twin to Richard. My brother Odell is here as well. A couple of the others have passed since this time, and we miss them, but I know they would be here today too, if they could. At this time, I'd like to have Odell and Gina come up, if they would. My brother and sister. Odell, would you get the Jeff and Lisa? I'd like you to come forward, please. This is Richard's children. "20 years ago in Reno, the 101st Airborne honored the Landers family in Reno, and we went there, all of us kids, and in honor of Richard. And they presented us with a plaque. We've kept that plaque all these years, and today I would like to present that plaque to the children of Richard Landers, Lisa, and Jeff.
Madam Mayor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, particularly the Landers family, thank you all very much for coming here today. I have a brief thank you. Dave asked me not to do this, but he does that every year, so it's too bad I'm going to do that. Dave and I are colleagues and friends, and I certainly understand that no one individual can receive all of the credit for a project such as this. However, Dave has continued to go above and beyond to ensure the proper tributes will be rendered. And I'd like you to help me in thanking Dave for his tireless work from the very first day of this memorial until today.
Our second wreath will be presented by the Santa Maria Valley Chamber of Commerce, Glenn Morris. The Santa Maria Historical Society, Cindy Rancic and Bill Worth. Santa Maria Elks Lodge, 1538, Mike Cadero and Tony Dart. Coast Hills Credit Union. VFW Post 2521, Carl Holmquist, Commander.